Can you is it possible you can look at US 30 and tell me what you think though?
Okay, so right now I'm in a sell on US 30 on my live account, on my other account, but let's take a look. Let's see. So for US 30, you can't be using like this huge time frame. That's a no-no because it's just too much. So let's see. Let me go to my live account.
I'm looking at it on the 15-minute chart, and I got the 3 hours and everything, and it's still pulled back.
Yeah, I think on it. Well, I don't know what I don't know, so I don't want to speak in terms of some level of expertise because I'm pretty new. I've only been at this US 30 thing for a couple of weeks. But having said that, so I caught this move right here. So I'm up 300 pips. So, and here's why. You see this, Mike?
Oh yes, man. I'm at work. I'm sorry. I gotta put y'all on hold for a minute. I'm a cook at a restaurant. I got some.
No, you get back to work, and when you get back on, you can ask me about US 30 again, okay?
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Wait a minute.
No problem. Go cook something yummy. Okay, guys. Well, welcome everybody. We are recording. I hope you all had a fantastic evening. Let's see. Making sure I'm recording. Yep, we're good. I'll check your chat. For some reason today, I get control over my Zoom on my VPS, which is super nice. I'm gonna sell. Yep, there you go. Hey, I can't say it. Vinici, right? That's how I say your name. I'm going to sell for US 32. Because on US 30, guys, you don't want to be playing on that higher time frame. You really got to be accurate because this little move will blow a huge account. Like a huge account. It'll be gone. So I'm up like, I guess that's how many pips? I don't know, 230 pips. So minus my spread on that account.
Yeah, I just sent you a private message on Telegram, so whenever you can, reply, please. Whenever you have time.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Hey, Guy, welcome. How are you doing? How are you tonight, huh? Okay. Well, welcome, everybody. Is there any pairs that you guys, somebody's got a really bad echo, and no. Let me see if I can mute you guys. Oh, there we go. I'll mute everybody and then you guys can unmute at will. So, are there any certain pairs you guys want me to take a look at tonight or any questions that I could answer? If so, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Go ahead and finish.
Hey, Edward, how's it going?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Fantastic. Hey, guys, if I don't see your chat, it's because I don't have access to the chat on my VPS. But so you know.
I'm on the Euro USD. I'm in there. I'm for a buy.
In for a buy?
Yeah, but I got a swap fee. Should I stay in it or get out of it?
Okay, a swap fee is very normal. So, like, again, if you're looking to swing trade, like we talked about earlier, there's no way to avoid swap fees. What broker are you on?
On Hugo's way. Oh, I got a big arrow on the 1 hour. I didn't know that. I got it on the 1 hour.
Okay, so on the 4 hour, was it ready yet on the 4 hour? Oh, I'm not on the right chart. I'm sorry. Whoopsie. Let's try this again. You got in on the 4 hour. Let's see. You got in because of the Stairmaster move?
I got in the first dot.
That's perfect. That's a really good entry.
How's the 1 hour looking? Can you check? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more likely going to hold it then.
Well, I mean, again, it wasn't quite ready according to like our swing trade method or our triple arrow system, but it's in line. So if it follows enough of your rules, you can take this. What was your swap fee?
Let me check. Well, I mean, it's a 5 cent lot size. It's a really small lot size. And my swap fee was $2.48, but I'm like breaking even right now, basically, on that trade. I have more trades running, but on that trade, I'm like breaking even.
And that's going to happen. There's really no way to avoid that. I mean, there are some brokers that don't have swap fees. The one that I know that's really bad, the swap fees tend to be higher on Wednesdays, first off, just so you guys know. And I know that Euro Odd has some really crazy swap fee rules that I wouldn't even dare to try to explain on a live call. because it's like if you're buying one day, it's higher, or if you're selling one day, it's lower, or it's something super weird like that. And then their swap fees are huge. So like on a few standards, you're looking at hundreds of dollars. Like it's a euro odd. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, don't swing trade that one if you don't know what your broker's fees are. So, yep, first. All right, guys. Well, you guys know that I'm in our euro odd currently, but not on a broker that has those crazy fees. So, but if you have any questions, go ahead and step up. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of flip through some charts. I have to go back to my Zoom.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, DJ, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you, Jenny?
Fantastic.
Hey, so I've been watching your videos, and I remember you saying on your last one that as soon as price moves into profit, you move your stop loss so that you can protect your stop loss, basically, so you don't make any losses. I was wondering, when you move that, do you wait to get to a certain amount of pips, or like do you wait till it's like 1 pip over before you move that in, or do you just, even if it's 0.2 pips, you move it up there? Like, is there a minimum pips?
Well, DJ, first off, you have to create your own set of rules. My rules are, if it's a non-GBP pair, once I'm about 10 pips in profit or so, I'll just move it up marginally. And then, of course, my trailing stops kind of take over after that. And if it's a GBP pair, I usually want to be at least 20 pips in profit before I move it up.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And guys, the thing is, if it resets, and everyone trades differently, I know that Pat is a master trader, like he is amazing, but he does not do that. Just so you know, like, you don't have to follow that rule, but if you're asking me, I just personally, I want to protect my money. So I'd rather have my higher accuracy ratio. So that's important to me. Yeah. Anyways, next question. If you guys are muted, you guys can unmute. Let's see if this will even let me do this. I added back on that auto trend line just as a added confirmation when I was talking to somebody today. Let's see. Oopsie. Let my chart speed up. Okay, so the pairs that I'm kind of looking at in terms of the rest of the week, as you guys know, I'm in Euro odd. I did buy odd chef, but I got a really good entry, so I don't know if right now is the great entry person. Let's see. I got in over here when it broke the 50. I took another entry here, and I took another entry here. So, but it looks like it might be pulling back. So when it pulls back, if you guys are looking for a buy, you guys can do that. But wait for it to line up, obviously, because we just now broke the 50 on the 4 hour. So it's probably going to hang out here for a while before it goes up or down or decides what it's going to do. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions?
I do.
Hey, Cornelia, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Wonderful.
Good. I had sent, I had messaged you about the broker, and I never got a feedback from you.
Okay, so if I miss your message, guys, I super apologize. Just send me another one so your name's at the top, because there's like 1,000 messages. Is your name Cornelia on Telegram?
Yes.
So let me see if I can find you. I'll search real quick. Because sometimes they just get lost in the sauce. And like, for instance, I was gone for a few hours today. Oh, I sent it. It just didn't send out. I probably didn't have reception or something. So I just hit resend, and now you have it.
I have it?
Now you do, yeah. I hit resend. It was like that little red explanation mark.
Oh.
So I try my best to answer all the messages, but sometimes like 1,000 things will happen if I'm gone for a few hours, and then I'll miss the rest of them. So I did send you that now, and now you have it.
Okay, thank you. So this is the one that has 2,000 leverage?
Yeah, very high leverage, which means technically you can trade 2 full standard lots on a $100 account.
Okay.
You can, doesn't mean you should. If your accuracy is really good, you can, there are people who have leverages this high that can turn a few $100 account to well over insane amounts of money in like a week or two. And when I say insane amounts of money, I mean like you can buy a house in most areas in America with that kind of money.
Okay. Now this is different. The one I just saw is different from the one you were talking about, the AAFX.
Yes, this is AAFX. That's correct.
Is that different from the one you just sent me?
No, I sent you just this template that I have. It kind of tells you the 3 brokers that I use. It tells you why I use them.
Okay.
So it tells you that CoinX has the best spreads by far, if you're asking me.
Yeah, I have them. I have them now, but they have leverage up to 500.
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted something more.
Well, so if you click on that link, you'll see the 1, 2, 3rd link that I sent you is AAFX, and you can click on that.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Are there any other questions?
Yeah. Hey, Miss Jenny, this is Mike. I'm back. As far as US 30 go, could you tell me what you think of that right now? I thought I was actually in it for a buy from the 15-minute chart, though.
Again, I'm not a super expert on this. I happen to have had some decent success in the last few weeks with US 30, just kind of playing with it and learning. But you really shouldn't, like, even the 15-minute time frame on this would be really pushing it. It would be really, really pushing it. I mean, it looks like it's turning around now, which is great.
Yeah, when I entered, I had all 3 hours and everything. Everything was lined up.
Let's see. So you were on the 15-minute. Sorry, my chart's wigging out. So you had this right here, right?
Yes, yes.
But you entered up here?
Well, actually, I entered, but I actually exited the trade because it pulled back on me so much, I got out of it.
And that's scary.
I was just trying to see if it's, you think it's going to go back up bullish or it's going to continue and bearish?
I wouldn't personally make long-term predictions on US 30. I would make, like, what is this going to do in the next 5-minute kind of predictions on US 30. And that's really all you're looking at. So, like, if you saw triple arrows on the 5-minute chart, and this is what I would use on Ripple too. And I have used this on Ripple. If you have this kind of confirmation on the 5-minute chart, and of course your ADX is lined up, okay, this is way too lagging to use it on US 30. But if you took this entry, for example, depending on your spread, you'd obviously be in a lot of profit. So this would be like 400 pips, according to the spread on this broker. The spread's kind of high on this broker though. But you want it to break that 50. If it doesn't break the 50, don't look for a buy. Okay. So like right here, you could have taken this, but then that was a huge momentum candle. So you'd want to put like a buy limit at 50% of that engulfing candle. And then if it hits, great, take it for, you know, what broker are you trading US 30 on?
I'm currently with Hugo's Way.
Okay, so on Hugo's Way, you can do a 0.01, right? Yes. So, and their spread right now, I think is like 320 something, 327-ish. So if you had taken this and put like a pending order, because you never want to buy at the top, right? Especially not with this pair, because one move can blow your account. But if you did a pending order for 50% of whatever that engulfing candle is that broke the 50, you'd notice that yes, it got hit, right? And if you only had 100 pip take profit. So if you trade something like this, you need to trade it responsibly, like super responsibly. So
I haven't never went over the penny 0.01. I ain't never went over that before.
Well, the 0.01 on Hugo's Way is technically $1 per lot.
$1, yes.
Yeah. So that's 0.01 is still a lot. I mean, it's a lot considering like how fast this moves. If you just said 100 pip take profit, you know, you would close out most of the time. Every time it breaks the 50, you'll close out. Like this isn't super ideal. You want it to be, you want your other confirmations to line up for sure. You need it to be trending up. So you can't go against the trend on this if you don't want to blow your account. You can never go against it. And if you're asking me, this 15-minute time frame, yeah, that's a no-no. Because so much can happen here. So if you took this move here and it kind of pulled back, like how big is your Hugo's Way account, if you don't mind me asking?
What did you ask me about my Hugo's Way?
How big is it? A couple hundred?
I have 1,000 in it.
So if you don't have any other trades, you can do like a 0.03. But if you have other trades, a 0.01 is probably plenty.
No, I'm scared. I'm not scared of it, but I don't want to go up, you know, too high because it always pulled back on me. But I'm trying to get a strategy together to get it. So
I'm working on one. I told Pat that I would share it with the group. I want to make sure that I can understand the stop loss. Because again, it's all about the rules. If you guys can follow the rules, you'll do super well. But if you're not following the rules, you're going to lose your head. Because any one of these moves, if you just get in here, you want it to break the 50. The biggest tip I can give you right now without like giving out too much in terms of what I'm working on, this 50, you're using the 5-minute chart and you want it to break the 50, always. Typically when it breaks the 50, it'll retest it, almost always, not all the time, so sometimes you'll miss some moves. But the cool thing is you can scout this so much that it doesn't matter if you miss the move because another move is coming up like in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So right now on the 15, I mean, that's pushing it. Definitely pushing it. But my trade, of course, had a trailing stop, so I sold it down. I'm not in that account right now to know what I closed out with, but let's see. I can tell you that me and I think it was Benici sold it also. So right now we're looking for the sells only on the 5-minute chart because you're only below the 50. And until you're above the 50, I'm not looking for any buys. So it would have to break this, retest it before me to say, okay, this is a buyer's market, and I'm happy with that.
Okay, I got you.
How much did you take a loss on that?
It went back by $70 on me.
On a 0.01 on Hugo's way?
Yep.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. So, see, like I said, there's so much I don't know. I don't want to, like, teach you inaccurately, but on Hugo's way and then a couple other brokers, like if you have X amount in your account, your 0.01 actually goes up a value. So you were down 700 pips? How many pips were you down?
I guess it was 700 then, yep. Like 700. Yep, 700.
So you bought here and it came down to this?
I can't really see your
You bought some around here?
let me see where let me get back to 15-minute chart. I bought right there where from the 15-minute chart where the 2 arrows right on top of each other.
So when you see this engulfing move, okay, never get in on an engulfing move on any pair, but especially on US 30. So you see the engulfing move, even if you were to buy, you wait till price retraces to 50% of that engulfing candle. Always, always.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I saw the arrows and I saw my money line going up and my MACD at the bottom was green, so I thought it was good to go.
US 30 is no joke. I wouldn't be playing with it like on the 15. The 15 is just a little bit too small. Like it's too big of a move because this move right here is again, your spread over there is what, maybe 300-400 depending on the time of day. So this moved 2,000 pips. Okay, minus if you add your spread to that, that's 2,300 pips, ish, give or take, obviously. I mean, so that's a lot of pips. And look, it's probably going to start buying now because on my 5-minute price just closed above the 50.
So you're going to wait till a retest and then you're going to get in for a buy?
I'm on a call with you guys. So, I mean, if we're watching this together, yeah, I would buy this together. But I wanted to kind of see, we want to know that it's going to break like this high. So here's what we'd be looking for. You guys see this high right here? And if you notice, the price kind of stalled out over here to the left too. And then it broke below it and it kind of trended down a little. So right now we're retesting this area. So we want to know, is it going to kind of come up and retest this and then go up for the uptrend? Or is it just going to stall out around this 50 a while and go back down? So for a real buy, I mean, let's see, we're on the 5-minute chart. We've already got a wick to the upside. That's not even enough pips currently to cover my spread on this broker, right? So this wouldn't even cover the spread on this broker particularly. So we can watch it together, but my guess is it's going to play around a little bit. We want to wait to see if it goes above that. And if it breaks below that 50 again, I'd sell it. And we've got wicks to the top. Let's see. I've been having a lot of fun with this. So when I'm not like on a call with you guys in the evening and I'm done with cooking dinner and all that good jazz, I've just kind of been playing with a lot of US 30 and it's been It's been fun. I can't fib. It's been a lot of fun. How fast it moves.
Yeah, that's a whirl of adrenaline run.
It is. I'm not sure how you lost the let's see, $70. Yeah, you would have had to get in at the very top. And then of course, well, to this top, and then it went that far against you.
Yeah.
Because that's 700 pips plus your spread.
Yeah.
Yep, that would make more sense.
Hey, Jenny, can you hear me?
Hey, girl, how's this?
Hey,
Who is this?
Najane. I'm sorry. I think I was having some issues with my speakers.
No problem.
I'm playing around with US 30 as well. And one thing that I've been doing that seems to be working just a bit is I'll look for my big arrow on the 15-minute and then drop down to the 5 for the entry.
Exactly. So like that's something I would do on US 30 or like on cryptos or anything that moves, super fast. So you would find your trend. Like on other pairs, we're looking for our trend on the 4 hour and the hour. But on this, we only care about what's happening on 15 minutes and below. Like we don't care at all if this is saying anything at all, because finding your trend on the 15, and actually, how do I say your name again? It's a very pretty name.
Oh, thanks. Ajane.
Ajane. It's only 4 letters and it sounds so long. I was like, I know I'm going to mess it up. But that is very pretty. Okay, so look, guys, we're on the 15-minute chart. Sorry, I'm kind of coming down with a little bit of a cold. But so on the 15-minute chart, I've got my buy-sell lines, right? And mine are currently set to be on this US 30 chart. Oh, I messed up. I fibbed. But on my other broker, the one I'm actually trading live US 30 on, I have one of them set to be an hour. And then I have that daily thing set to be, let's see. And I even played around with the 30 minutes, but that was too much noise. So what I did was the 1 hour and the 4 hour in terms of the buy-sell lines. And you can just put 2 super easy buy-sell lines. And then I'm looking for buys off of this. And I'm going to buy it up. I'm looking for sells off of that. But of course, I still want it to be below the 50. I always want it to be below the 50. I buy or sell. So it's kind of rejecting off the 50 on the 15-minute chart. So until we have a clear break, and you'll notice this, so it kind of broke through the 50, it retested, and our money tree string line stayed the same. This wasn't even a big enough move to cover your spread on most brokers. Same thing with this, and it's just kind of coming up and retesting. So right now it could be stalling out kind of because this previous support here. So it's totally, our money tree string line just turned purple. We have a sell arrow, which is our little arrow. We'd want some major confirmation, but we also have this, what they call that railroad pattern, right? Which indicates a reversal. So anybody else got anything to add in terms of US 30? Sell or buy?
Hi.
Hey, Fancy, how's it going?
It's going good. How about you?
Wonderful.
Can you please point out again how it was retesting?
Okay, so I'm back to my 5-minute chart. So I'll stay with this just so I can show you, and I'm going to close this to make it super visible for you guys. So I rode this all the way down, and I got back in on every entry that retested the 50, and then I got it back in here. So we see our triple arrows, obviously. We're on the 5-minute chart. We're not on bigger time frames because that will not work on bigger time frames. You will blow your account. You'll notice that in and around this area, you have confirmation of your MACD, your auto trend line, and your ADX is all facing the right way, right? Momentum is going up, the seller's up, and it broke the 50, right? Now I'm going to zoom out a little so you can see this more clearly. So it broke the 50 here. Price, of course, has been stalling out. We're on the 50 back there. But now we've got actual confirmation. It came back up, retested, rejected, retested. You see these baby wicks to the upside? Can you see those there?
I can see it.
And then we've got some really, really weak candles. There's no momentum in these candles. And then it drops, right?
Okay.
And if we had the other EMAs on here, you would see it more clearly. But price came back up and kind of retested in that 50 area, right?
Right.
And then it dropped. It stalled out for a little while, okay? And it kind of just stayed around this area, broke the 50 even, and then it dropped.
Okay.
Okay? and then here again, came up in around the 50 and dropped. And that's why we wait for other confirmations. We're not just waiting for that break of that 50. And again, we have our buy sell lines right here, which would tell me this is still selling.
Okay.
And I tried programming it with the 30 minutes, but it was a bit too much noise. I mean, we can try it here together just to show you what I saw. Let's see.
Okay.
I'll put this one at 30 minutes. Boom, boom. It's just, see, there was too much noise. And that works great, like if you're super pinpoint accurate, but for the most part, this isn't enough to cover the spread. I mean, this move is, but a lot of the moves will not be. Not if we're waiting for all of our confirmations. So if we're waiting for the momentum to be pointing up, you know, this right here, it just isn't enough to cover. It barely would be, depending on the time of day, right?
Right.
I definitely don't want to be using the 30-minute buy sell lines. I want to be using the 1 hour and the 4 hour. And I was using that even more so than the big arrows, but because it's just more, it's cleaner. And then you know what you're looking for. So when you see the sell line, you're waiting for price to break below the 50, okay? And there you go. Came back up, break below, kind of retested perfectly on this case. Same. And then you're always with the direction. So this move right here, I didn't hold it because again, I'm pretty new to this. But let's say you got in here. This move is 3,000 pips, you know, because, well, it's 3,265, plus you got to minus your spread in there, which on this broker is pretty high, but that's how much this moved, and that's in a very, very small amount of time. So that's the 29th at 9:25 to the 29th. So this is only in 9 hours, 3,000 pips in 9 hours. Crazy, huh?
This is Ajane again. I got stopped out, I think, on the same candle as the gentleman that was talking earlier. I did 4 trades in US 30 today. I was up a total of 580 pips. And then in one trade was down 580 pips.
And that's all it's going to take, guys, is one trade. Wait, what broker are you trading on?
I'm with Hugo's Way.
So somebody else in the group actually told me and kind of pointed me onto this. If you trade US 30 in a CoinEx account, one standard lot pretty much equals 0.01 in any other account, right? So, and the way they count the pips is different. So when I'm on my CoinEx account, this has 3 numbers, not 5. When I'm on my CoinEx account, my spread is like 1. Well, in Asian session, it's like 9. And so in the Asian session, my spread is 9. The spread on this one is 440 pips. Well, it's 440. It's 44, sorry. So you start, you know, a lot in the negative on the Hugo's Way, on AFX. So if you're going to trade US 30, again, I'm pretty new to US 30. It's only been a couple weeks. I've made close to 10,000 pips in the last 3 weeks on US 30. And that's actual pips. That's not including like these weird numbers on the end, actual pips. But I would totally recommend you go to CoinEx if you're going to play with US 30, because it calculates different, and it's a different risk in your account. I don't know how to explain it or how they do their math, but it's way different. It's way different.
Yeah, it took me some time to understand how Hugo's Way did their pips on this.
So you got in here too?
Yeah.
But you guys got in on the 15-minute chart.
I got in on the 5. I looked for my trend on the 15, and then I dropped down to the 5 for my entry.
So you guys see prices selling out. I mean, whoopsie. Let's see, you dropped to the 5-minute for your entry. So where did you enter?
Can you?
I'll try. I mean, these things are temperamental enough, and then you add it to a Zoom.
I got in on the candle after the engulfing candle.
Okay, that was good.
I think it was right after it crossed the 50, because that's where I was comfortable entering, and then it pulled back on me. So I was in profit for just a bit. Not that one. I think it was the one to the right, further to the right, further over the 50. further to the right.
Oh, this one.
Yep, I think
Okay.
that's what I was in. And then I got in on the one after it, and it went up. I was in profit a little bit, and then it pulled back on me.
What was your stop loss?
My stop loss on that one, I'll have to dig for my papers. I'm sorry.
But it hit your stop loss though? You didn't close it manually?
It did.
Well, with your spread on Hugo's Way, your spread is 300-ish pips. That would put it here, you know, which would make sense as to why that got hit. So did it just now got hit or it got hit back here?
It got hit back there.
Your spread knocked you out.
Yeah.
You probably would have been safe enough to keep it alive, but your spread knocked you out.
Yeah. When I started getting back to close to the 50, and I hadn't played around with it again since. So looking for some trades in the London session will be the next time I look at it.
Again, I heard through the grapevine that Asian is a good time to trade US 30. I don't know how accurate that is or not. I just know I've had some time late in the evening to kind of play with it, and it goes real smooth. So
yeah,
right now, so we can kind of stay on this for a minute. Let's see. We've got our buy sells on the 1 hour and the 4 hour saying this is a buy. And we're kind of bounced around the 50, but we've got 2 wicks to the top, 1 wick to the bottom, and price is just like legit stalling out. Let's see. We'd want a confirmed move. Like, so if you guys have a demo account and you want to take this, please don't take a US 30 trade in a $100 account on any broker that you're not willing to lose $100 in, because like she just said, $580 happened in minutes. Okay. It's a big deal. So, but I mean, if anybody else wants to, we have our momentum going down. I mean, price is kind of trying to come up. We can barely see some volume. We can even add the RSI just to give us an idea. Does anybody on this call know what divergence is? Anybody at all? Let's see. So we'd want some extreme.
Right.
You're talking about bullish divergence?
Well, like diversion. Am I saying that wrong? Diversion, right? So like when the RSI is saying one thing, but price is saying something else, or your MACD is saying one thing. So if you're looking for a trend change on any pair, really, you want to see some massive divergence, or obviously use like a currency meter, or use something that says, hey, trend is turning around. So right now, we don't really see any massive divergence that says this is ready to start. I mean, I wonder if this will let me do it. Let's see. That might count as divergence. I don't really know. You guys can give me your input. What is from here to here? That's a down slope. I probably should make that a different color. You see this extreme angle from here to here, and here to here. That's how we got this big push up, was this divergence right here. Do you guys see that? Because RSI should follow price. So if this is an extreme angle, this should also be an extreme angle. I mean, this kind of barely counts, but just to give you an idea of what you'd be looking for, to know that, hey, price is going to turn around. And as of right now, we don't quite have one. Let's see. Clear all drawings. But I bet you we can find one. You guys want to keep an eye on US 30?
Yeah, we can do that.
See if we can find a trade. But if you're going to take this trade, you need to do a 0.01, and you need to do it preferably in your demo if you're not prepared to lose. So bottom line, let's wait and kind of see what price does. Go ahead.
Are you able to read the chat or no?
Sometimes. I don't know what it is. Like Zoom is super weird like that. So let me go to the chat. Meeting controls. Chat. Sometimes the Zoom will show up on my VPS, but sometimes it won't. Yes, that is when price is moving different from the indicator. That's right. So I don't scalp the 1 hour for the US 30. How do I start a $100 account?
Because I've been messing around with US 30 for like about 2 to 3 weeks now on like demo. And I've noticed that if I just take a trade straight off the 5 from like the 1 to 15-minute time frame.
Yep, perfect.
Higher time frames. Like one day I would be profitable, and then the next day, like I would blow the demo account, because even though the triple arrows would show like a bullish or a bearish trend, it wouldn't totally show the overall trend, which the 1 hour lately, what I've been trying to like scalp it. So like, let's say the seabird and like down arrow shows up, and like from the time frames from like the 30-minute to the 1 minute could be bullish, it would still be bearish just because the 1 hour like has the indicators.
Yeah, I mean, where are you putting your stop losses on that strategy?
Oh, no stop loss, like it's demo. Like
You're just playing.
Yeah, and I've noticed that when it's a positive trend, like when I'm correct, when I take the trade, there's usually like no drawdown. Like it usually goes in the direction of which I'm going in. And I've been trading like the New York session from like 9:50 till 11:30, because that's when I've noticed that it moves a lot.
Eastern time?
Yeah, Eastern time. And then once it reaches like 1 o'clock to closing time at 4, it sort of consolidates. And that was on Monday. And I don't know about Tuesday and Wednesday, but I've just been trading Mondays and Tuesdays. It probably changes around the middle of the week.
Okay, so you told me what you did right to take the trade, but then what are you doing to lose the trade? So what's the difference in your losing trades? Do you know?
Yeah, it comes down to impatience and lack of discipline. So like, let's say the MACD looks like it's gonna cross, but it doesn't cross, and the indicators are not, like, let's say they're there for the 1 minute, for the 30-minute, but in the hour it still says like seabird down, red arrow down, but everything else says pointing up, and the overall trend is down based off the daily and the 4 hour. Like I would lose that trade, even though like the lower time frames say it's bullish.
You're trading probably way different than I am. I really don't care what this is doing on the daily time frame. Or here, let's just go to the 4 hour, just for conversational purposes. And here's why. So, if you're going to practice this pair or any pair, and you're not practicing it with a set of rules that you can grow from and learn from, then this isn't going to be applicable to your live account. So you have to practice your strategy with the stop loss, and you have to practice it in a way that you can duplicate it in a live account. First off, is the first thing I would say. And the next thing I would say is, like, if I were to look at the 4 hour time frame, like what we see here is what? So there's a lot of noise on it. I'm sorry, guys, but it broke below the 50. This moved enough pips to blow a $1 million account, even on it. So that's 13,000 pips. So if you had even a few bucks on this, I mean, just a few bucks, a 0.01 on some brokers, so a 0.05 on some brokers, or a 5.0 on CoinEx, that's an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
But this pullback is enough to make a grown man cry, I think. That's a 5,000 pips pullback without, give or take your spread is 5,200 pips. Just this little baby pullback, and that's not even huge. So like if I were to look at the time frame, the bigger time frame, here's what I see. I see a downward trending market. I see it's making lower lows all the way across. It did a nice retracement, so this is probably about 31%. Kind of follows suit with Fibonacci. And then we had a nice support, but check it out. Price broke below that support already. So that's kind of a telling sign that it was still selling. If I were to have checked this out, which I've kind of rode that out all day. And now if we go to the 1 hour, we'll see something pretty comparable. But either way, on this pair, even if you have a 6-figure account, why would you want to put, let's say you have a 6-figure account and you have a 0.05. Most brokers, that's $5 per lot. CoinEx, it would take a 5.0 to be $5 per lot. But even on a 6-figure account, let's see, that's 3,000 pips, give or take your spreads. We'll just round it down to 3,000 pips. I'll even get out my calculator just to be accurate. 3,000. Okay, minus the spread, we'll just say 2,900. Okay, that alone is close to 15,000. It's 14,500 in this one move. So why would I care about what this is happening if my account can't withstand a $14,500 drawdown, right? We want to be on a much smaller time frame. We want to know what price is doing on a way different time frame, unless you're just to see if it broke the previous low. So it broke that low, and now we're kind of seeing if it's going to stall out. But on the 1 hour, we've got wicks to the top, a nice little kind of maybe railroad pattern here. I guess we'll see. And nice crossover, but we need this to break the 50 of the RSI. So let's go down another time frame, see what we see. It's stalling out, but in a good way. So this could be ready to reverse, just not yet. Sorry, guys. Some of these still have alerts because I built this chart. I have to turn them all off. But as of right now, if it breaks either of these, we could buy or sell. But we would want to see what price is doing. And the safer entry would still be like when it breaks this. If it breaks this, we know we have a safe amount of pips to get. But you want to set a take profit. Again, unless your account is big enough to hold it. Let's see, 1003, so that's 1,000 pips. But what would you do on this trade?
You're still talking to me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, let's see. Like as of now, I've also been trying to get a more fundamental analysis of like what the U.S. market is doing, because I'm not really trying to trade anymore like Forex pairs, because that's just too many things to keep track of, like too many countries. And it was like, at first when I started, I was really doing really well, but I've switched my my attention to US 30. And like I've been looking into it, and like the US markets, like the US economy, like going down because of tariffs. Like the top US companies are reaching lower low each week and each month. Like you can see like in the Dow Jones and the S&P 500. So that's why I feel like this will keep selling. As of now, since I'm trying to create a strategy where I use the 1 hour indicators in order as like more confirmation to trade like the lower time frames. So like right now in the 1 hour, if I was looking for a buy, I would still not enter the trade, because there's just, even though the MACD crossed for a buy, the indicators still
down.
Yeah, they still don't show like a seabird or a green arrow or like a bullish uptrend. So like it's just not ready for a buy yet, in my opinion. But
I don't think so either. But again, I don't ever want to ever predict price. Not for you, not for me, not for anybody. Grr, sorry about that. I'll have to change that. But what we do know is like, so that average daily range I just had on this chart, I'll try to zoom it out so you can see it. It broke the average daily range today, so it went all the way down to it. If I'm not mistaken, the average daily range was approximately right here, give or take. I could be wrong. I'd have to back test it to show you to prove it. But so that ADR high right there, right around here was the ADR low. So when it broke that, and it broke it hard, if you can see, this is a momentum move. This is a powerful move, right? For it to come back up and retest is very, very normal. Now, not to say that it's definitely going back down. Like, I'm not going to anticipate that for sure. I just follow what my little strategy says to do. I don't make any educated guesses. I do what my chart tells me to do, and I follow it religiously. I've only had a handful of losses with that too. So, I mean, I would still stick with the smaller time frame though, because it made a big push down. So for it need to correct is pretty high. It doesn't mean it's not going to turn around. It just means, I mean, we'll have to see, I guess. Let me see what it's doing on my other broker on my little phone here. Hold on. Let it load, because Lord knows. Let's see. Are there any certain indicators you're using on US 30?
so far I just pretty much have like it's pretty much kind of like the Stairmaster strategy, but not really. So I just have like the MACD with the, and I also have like the stuff on the phone that you guys made like on the other videos. I don't have all those other indicators that you have.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I just use the smaller time frame for this. and I'm not. So that other trade that I had, Benici, are you still selling this, or are you holding it, or did it close?
No, I'm still selling it. I'm $42 in profit.
So we have, this is a really tiny candle, guys, because it's a 5-minute chart. But
yeah, I put my take profit at 25,000.
right here, ish, give or take. So that's a nice move. It's got some volume to it. It's kind of retesting. I mean, I would sell here. Let's see, ADX is pointing up. This is kind of going back down. Let's see. What broker, does anybody have a CoinEx broker or no?
Yeah, that's what I'm using right now.
So you're using a standard lot then, right?
Yeah.
Just one?
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how big is your account?
I'm on the demo account. I'm still testing.
Oh, gotcha. I've been using this with the parabolic stars on my settings, the faster ones, and I've been using it with a crossover of the two EMAs, ADX and RSI, keeping it like really, really simple. So when it breaks the 50, which it did, so I would want to build out like an entirely different chart to trade US 30 on this broker. I'm going to have to click through all these, aren't I? To figure out which one it is. Let's see. That's enough. Not bad. My sell trade closed in profit already, so because I had a trailing stop on it. But every one of our indicators is telling us this is a buy. I just don't think it's ready for a buy yet. We'd want it to break this before we started buying, or it's probably going to go back down to at least here. If it breaks this support and resistance, the odds are you can safely hold it to the average daily low, which would be, let's see, obviously moving your stop into profit. I got to go to the bigger time frame if it will let me, and zoom out a whole bunch. So if it breaks that current support and resistance, I would take it down to here. From where price is currently at, give or take, add the spread, I'd take it for about 3,000 pips. But only if it breaks that. Otherwise, we're looking for a buy. Does that make sense? Let's see.
Hey, Jenny, what indicator is that? The average daily low?
I can drop it in the group. I got it from, pretty sure the IML team. I mean, it moves every day. So this moves every single day. It just gives you the average daily range, the high and the low. And I'm pretty sure, again, we'd have to use the strategy tester to prove that. But this was the average daily range. Price stalled out right here, and then it dropped hard. So the fact that it broke it and then now retested it, I'd still say this has room to sell. But again, we have our support line saying buy. I'm assuming we have multiple time frames saying buy. So you'd want to wait it out and see. Like if you want the safest trade of how I would trade, you would want to trade this zone to zone. So you'd want it to break one of these two zones. And when it breaks that zone, you're going to have some drawdown because that's a late entry, but you're also going to have a very accurate trade. You're not going to be speculating to say, well, maybe it just kind of bounced around the 50 and it retested, it broke above it, so I'm not quite sure. You're not going to like second guess yourself. So if it was me and I was putting this on my live money, and for my US 30 account on CoinEx, I think I'd be at a 5.0. So that's $5 per pip is what I'm working on this. I'm doing it 3 days at a time. So every 3 days I'm changing my lot size because the account is growing in that way. But if you want the safest trade, you want it to break this low or this high because there's just too much consolidation. Like if you guys have any amount of whatever you call it, like Forex training or knowledge, let me see, insert. You know that when price consolidates, it's gonna have a breakout move. So let me draw something. I know how to do this, maybe. I always get tripped up on this. So if we pretend like this is a zone, which it is, right? You want price to break this zone. And when price breaks that zone, you have a more confirmed move. You could easily probably go for, give or take, I mean, depending on the broker, it all counts differently, but at least 300 pips is my best guess when it breaks this. But until it breaks this, you're only speculating. And on some accounts with the different spread, you could technically make profit. When it came back, retouched the 50, you would have made some profit. When it broke this 50, which is when I got in, I did make some profit. My trailing stop knocked me out because on that broker, the spread's only like 300. So I got in around here. I did make profit. But if we want the safest move and like other people's money is on the line, not just mine, I'd say wait till it breaks these two zones. And when it breaks it, then you know what direction it's going. But until then, we're just kind of speculating. Does that make sense? Let's see.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Are those zones?
Can we look at some more other pairs? Because US 30 is just too that's too confusing.
It's too much for a lot of people. No, I feel you. I totally did.
Through the average daily high and low, I missed
that. Say your question again.
The zones that you have right there, was that the average daily high and low?
No, that zone was just like what. So this like box I drew, it's price is kind of selling out that there. And as you become a more skilled trader, you'll kind of see it differently. So I can see that price is kind of stuck in this area. Like if I wasn't on the call, the odds are I would be taking different decisions. But right now, price being in this area, you want it to break this area with some amount of confirmation before you decide to put, hundreds of dollars on the line. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, definitely. I just wasn't sure where you had gotten the zone. You had talked about the average daily range.
Oh yeah, the average daily range, that's a little indicator that moves every day. It tells you what the average daily high is and the average daily low. Typically speaking, when price breaks above or below one of these support zones, you can take it to the next average daily range. It's very, very easy, not hard at all. So somebody told me to look at odd NZD. Hey guys, if you're putting stuff in the chat, I can only see the chat like maybe a few % of the time. So just try to step up and ask your questions pretty please, because I don't want to dishonor you and miss them, but I can't always see them, okay?
One more quick thing about US 30. I did this last week, and I noticed also the other gentleman, he was saying as well, between around 11:30 and 1:30, 2:30, it kind of stalls out. Well, during that time, it plays in a channel pretty much the entire day. It breaks out at the beginning and the end of the day in one direction or the other, but throughout the middle of the day, it plays in a channel, and you can see it clearly on the 5-minute chart. If you strip your chart down and just look at the 5-minute, you can clearly see the channel that it's in during the day. And last week, I played the entire channel from top to bottom one whole day and got, I don't know how many pips I got in on that day or how many trades, but it was about 4 or 5 different trades just playing that channel.
So you did the buy, sell based off of the channel?
Yeah, and it does it every day pretty much between 11:30 and 1:30, 2:30.
Eastern time or Central time?
Eastern.
Hold on, I'll put this back on and then we'll look at something else for the people who want to see it. So if I zoom out all the way, okay, it's going to be, the candles are tiny. And keep in mind, I kind of changed the buy-sell lines. But watch, I'll go to the hour chart just for better clarity. As soon as it loads, there we go. And let's put the day. There's a lot of different indicators that will show you different time zones and the different session breakouts. But for now, let's just keep it simple so we don't confuse everybody. So what you guys can notice is that if there's 3 sessions in this, the price usually respects each session in a certain way. So if this is the opening of Asia, Tokyo, okay, price will move in a certain direction. If your buy sell lines are on the top, open of Asian Tokyo, okay, price is going to go down. So you can see this on a more daily view if that's your thing, or if you're looking for zones to trade. I'm sure it does trade in channels, but like I would say about any trading, what it comes down to at the end of the day is if you can see that, then you should use that. Like, everyone's different. So the time you're referencing would be New York, which is the center of this point, right? The time you're referencing would be these centers, so many candles. So this is the channel that you would have played. Wait, is it? No, it would be the end because you're talking about New York. So this is the channel. This is the channel. This is the channel you're referring to. Is these last few candles because this is New York session.
Yeah, and I play it on the 5-minute.
That's awesome. But you use the AA lines on the 5-minute chart?
No.
No, you just draw your own channel?
Yep.
Gotcha. That's awesome. That is awesome. If that works for you, then create rules based around it. If your eyes can see that, like Pat or I, or even any guru or any 7-figure trader, any established trader, like they can tell you a billion things. But if you come up with something like that, honestly, girl, and now you see it, you understand it, create a set of rules that match it. So like your risk to reward ratio should be part of it. Your stop loss should be part of it. You know, how many trades you'll take in a day at most. How big of a percentage of a loss you want to take in a day before you stop trading. How many trades you're going to take until you increase your lot size. Create a set of rules based off of what you see, and you will be like unusually successful. But create rules based off of what you see, because other people might not see that. And if that works for you, then you just figured out how to buy an extra house. That's literally what it comes down to. Does that make sense?
Complete. Thank you.
You are welcome. All right, somebody said something about audio and odd NZD. Let me see if I can come back over here and check the chat because it doesn't show up in my meeting room all the time. Where's it at? There we go. I don't trade the now and later, Ron. The box says consolidation, that's correct. Yes, that is when price is moving it different from the indicators. So, yeah, that's the question. Guys, I don't trade the now and later. And like Pat said, to be honest, like most of my, now this little box has to move, thank you. Most of my trades are swing trades, but the point is a lot of people needed answers and questions, and this isn't like the ideal time to go taking a bunch of trades, but if you want to see one, we can. But let's take a look on this chart and see what we see. Ron, are you there? Can you unmute yourself? Peekaboo. Okay, maybe not. Well, either way, he had asked a question about odd NZD. So do we think this is ready? We're on the 15-minute time trade now. We've got a lot of oscillators. We don't need them all, but just to give you an idea. Here, we'll delete this one to clean up our chart a little bit. Delete. Close. He's looking at this for a sell. Ron, are you there?
No, it's not. It's not ready.
Oh. Okay, I don't see this to be super ready yet on the 15-minute chart. So right now, MACD hasn't decided what it wants to do yet. It's kind of just fooling around. Pick whatever oscillators your eyes see best. I don't see this. This one I happen to have on my chart because of a different meeting today. I kind of have a love relationship with it. Comes and goes. But currently price is still moving up. So why am I going to get in this trade? Like, it's just not ready yet. Even on the 15-minute chart, it's not ready. If you guys want to have great entries, it's going to take great patience. It's going to take discipline. Wait till you have, if your chart is set up like this, we have a lot of confirmations. We have 1, 2, 3, big arrow is 4, little arrow is 5, yellow arrow is 6. Any type of buy sell support would be 7. Money tree string line would be 8. Break of the 50 would be 9. And like an engulfing candle would be 10. So you have 10 different proof pieces of evidence you can use to take this trade. So make a rule for yourself that says, hey, I need 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. I need this much proof before I jump in this trade. And that's how I trade. So I trade very, very safely. I don't just jump in trades because I'm desperate to find a trade. So on this chart, this is not ready. Does anybody else kind of see that at all?
Yeah,
None
I
of
see
our,
that.
it just doesn't line up yet, guys. Not that you couldn't take it, and the odds are you might win it. But if you want to be a disciplined trader, you need to follow discipline rules. And as of right now, we would be waiting for this. I'm pretty simple. but you don't get to that level of accuracy without following that level of rules, those level of rules. So let's see. Are there any other questions tonight?
Jenny, can we look at CAD JPY on the 1 hour? I was looking at it, waiting for it to break the 50 on the 1 hour.
Okay, I'm going there. Oh, I know, it's that auto trend thingy. I was like, I knew I turned all those off. Hold on, let me turn this off, because that's going to drive us all nuts. Is it that or no? Nope, I was wrong. Okay, whatever. There we go. So we're on the 15-minute chart. You're looking to do what?
On the 1 hour, I was waiting for it to break over the 50.
On the 1 hour, you want it to break above the 50, right?
Right.
So how many of your rules do you currently have that kind of line up?
Well, it's not broken over the 50, so I'm not going to take it. I'm going to wait.
And maybe you'd want to have another set of buy-sell lines kind of confirming that price stalled out. Because we have these huge wicks to the top side. That could have been from Canadian news. Well, no, because Canadian news was a little earlier. But these huge wicks, yeah, that's a no-go. I would just wait. So I'd wait till it kind of, if you're doing the Stairmaster, wait for those support lines. If you're waiting for your actual trade, then you have enough confirmations to kind of get in and wait for it to break that 50 or to break this support. Because when it breaks this support line, you know that's a trend. The market's going to go up. It's going to go up enough pips to matter, but it's got these dots that's saying it's going to reverse a little bit. So I'd wait till it kind of gets new dots to reverse.
Yeah, I was going to do that because the 4 hours is telling me the same thing.
Let's see the 4 hour.
But I'm still waiting for it to break the 50 on the 1 hour.
Yep, that's what I would do.
Yeah, okay. I wrote it down in my journal, that's what I asked.
Hey, Jay.
Awesome. Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful.
When you said that it had to break the 50, are you saying it also has to break the support dots as well to be a confirmed breakout?
No, what I'm saying is, so I'm back on the 1 hour, guys, is like, I don't know what indicators you have on your chart, but something comparable to this, yeah?
Yes.
Right? So create a set of rules. So whichever ones your eyes see better, like if you like the Trump candles like Pat, great. And he does super well with them. He's a rock star. So if you like the Seabird, use that. But create a set of rules. So for me, I would want it to give me some kind of confirmation. So for me, that would be breaking the 50, so a higher high, so that would be a higher low, right? If we got a nice little set of support dots over here, which is now a higher low, correct?
Right.
I would count that as confirmation. I would count breaking the 50 as confirmation, or even breaking the previous high as confirmation. But I would just want a little bit more confirmation to decide to buy this as a swing trade. So there's a lot of different ways to trade this, but in terms of a swing trade, that's what I'm referencing. It's what I do best is swing trade. It works really well for me. And so that's what I do. So for a swing trade, my rules are very specific, but my accuracy is very high. Fair enough?
Yep. Thank you.
You are welcome.
I have a question, Jenny.
Yes, sir.
When you was talking about the Dow 30 before, how would you stack and compound profits starting with $100?
Oh goodness, I would not. Do not stack US 30. Did you not hear that girl on the call just a minute ago saying that she lost $580 in one trade? One trade.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. So US 30 is not, at least not on 100. I mean, well, shoot, honestly, on $1,000 account, you should not be stacking US 30. But to compound, like I can create a worksheet just for US 30. Actually, I'm working on one anyways now, because the way my strategy is set up is to go for a confirmed 100 pips, and 100 pips on that is, it has, it moves different. So you have to take this with a grain of salt. My stop loss is rather large in general, but if I confirm my 100 pips, so let's pretend this is US 30, because I think some people were tired of looking at it. If it comes down, I'm always going to move my stop in a profit. I will not risk US 30. I will close out with $2, but I will not close out with negative $200. Fair enough?
Oh, okay.
But
Thanks.
so for that, you would do one trade at a time, right? So one trade at a time. The strategy that I'm kind of leaning toward right now is because I can't set a daily goal, I need that, and that has not worked well for me in the past. And because I can't set an accurate pip goal per trade, because some of the trades that I was in went for, one of them particularly went for 2,000 pips, whereas most of them I close out with a few hundred pips. So I can't logically and consistently set a pip goal per trade, and I won't set a pip goal per day. So what I'm doing on my US 30 strategy is I have a pip goal per week. When I hit that pip goal per week, I'm done trading. So the last 3 weeks, it was 3,000 pips per week. And that would be based off of about a 50%. Well, I'm not even using the whole percent of growth on this strategy. And the reason why is because every 3 days I'm increasing my lot size. So one moment. Okay, sorry about that. So if every 3 days I'm increasing my lot size by 0.01, and that's on by 1 standard, and that's on CoinEx, you would increase your lot size every $1,000 you earned, or every $300 increase your lot size by 1. So if you're using a 0.01 like on Hugo's Way, every time you get to a $300 increase your lot size by 0.01. So the next 3 days or whatever, or until you hit that milestone, you would do a 0.02. And from there, you can compound that. I don't have the exact numbers figured out because I don't have that worksheet done yet, but give or take a $200 account. On Hugo's Way, you definitely want more than a $100 account, just so you know. But give or take, you could hit 6 figures within a few weeks, literally within a few weeks.
So on the Dow 30?
Yeah, because it moves so fast. But you just have to have the right rules in place. So you will lose some trades. And if you increase your lot size every so many, again, because of the way this pair moves, and I haven't quite, got my mind around it and kind of played with all the numbers yet. But if you increase your lot size not by percentage, rather by every so many $100, which gives you the margin that you need to grow, then that alone will be enough to compound it in a way that, within a few weeks, you have to think you would be trading technically, give or take $20 per lot, maybe even $30 per lot on a pair that moves thousands of pips. And you'd be doing that within a few weeks. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So it's doable. Let me work on a worksheet, but don't stack US 30, please. That is a recipe master.
I'm starting low anyway.
Yeah, start really low. Just do one pair. Well, one trade. Always protect your profit, and then as you get to 200 and 300, you can let it run a little bit longer. But at first, you shouldn't even be risking the big runs, because the catastrophic effect is going to be account blown, and that's what's going to happen. So collect your $10, your $10, your $20, your $20, your $30, your $30, and now you can start to collect a little bit more on each move. If that makes sense.
All right. Thanks.
No, you're welcome.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, who's this? I hear somebody's TV cussing up a storm. Whose TV is that? Or who said Jenny?
Well, I said Jenny, but I don't know who TV that is. I don't have a TV in my background. But the guy, he set my my system up. I've been here like 2 weeks, and he did a great job. I forgot his name, Irving, maybe?
That's correct. He is a great MT4 guy. That is right.
Yeah. But he did not, I'm looking at your chart, how you got the 50, I guess that's the 50 moving average?
Yes, sir.
He did not put that on my chart.
So do you have a second to watch my screen for a minute?
Yes, I can do it right here with you right now.
Check it out. You can go up here and hit moving average.
Wait a minute, where are you going into? What is that you hitting?
Okay, let me move. This Zoom bar is funky. Sometimes it's here when I don't need it in my way. Sometimes it's not. It's really funny. So here we go. I click on this little plus sign. It's got a piece of paper with the corner folded over and a plus sign. And I click on moving average. Okay. I would type in 50. The shift is 0. The MA method is exponential. We're going to apply it to the close of every candle. And you can make it whatever color you want. I make it kind of big because the banks trade with the 50. So I honor the 50 because I feel like if the $1 billion accounts are trusting this 50 and they're making decisions based off of it, I feel like I really should too. And everyone has a different way of determining the trend. The way I determine the trend personally is if it's above the 50, we're buying. If it's below the 50, we're selling. And I keep it really, really simple like that. So that's my rules based on how I see the chart. And then you hit OK, and then it'll add it to your chart, okay? Did you see that?
No, because I'm actually trying to see this on my phone. I can barely see. I see where it say average directional moving average. I don't see where it just say moving average only.
Okay,
oh,
so
wait a minute. Okay, I had to go in the trend and go over.
Yeah.
Go over down from trend.
Moving average. There you go.
Okay,
type in 50, 0, exponential, close. Mine is white because it's pretty and clean, and I make it kind of thick.
White and clean. Okay, I got it now.
Yes, sir. Okay. I hope that helps.
Yep. Sorry about that, y'all. I know that everybody else already passed that.
Oh, no, guys. We're on here not necessarily just to look at live trades, but to kind of go over what made you lose a trade, to answer questions. This isn't a super prime time to, this is that trade we took on that call last night. We're still kind of waiting. I won't take this trade in my live account until it breaks the 50, personally. But I have it on here just kind of waiting, so we shall see. We will see. Slowly but surely.
Hey, Jenny, this is Diana. I have a question.
And when you say you wait till it break the 50, on which time frame? It don't matter which time frame?
Again, so I use the 1 hour. So if it's above the 50 on the 1 hour, I count that as buying. If it's below the 50 on the 1 hour, I count that as selling.
Okay.
Hey, Diana, I heard you. Come on up.
Hi. I'm going to help someone in the morning open up the 30. Now, on Market Watch, when you first open up a brand new CoinEx account, the indices are not on there. Can you show me in the morning, or show me right now, because I'm going to help her first thing in the morning, how to add the 30 on there so she can take a trade?
Okay, so check it out. If I right click on this anywhere, I can hit show all. That's one option. Okay. And another option, which is a lot more structured, is you can find them here to find your specific one that you want to add. Those are indices. Those are all US based, obviously. Okay. But there's a lot of different ways to do it. I probably go to symbols. And this is the way to actually get a chance to see, because you don't necessarily want every pair on your chart. I think I decided. No. So I don't have Euro Mexican. I don't have US. Well, I have these. I don't have these weird ones on my chart. Let's see. I don't have silver or platinum. So you can kind of take off the ones you want. So if I wanted to put the USD NOK, I would hit show. If I wanted to hide it, I would hit hide. And then, of course, the reason why I take all these off is because I want to be able to kind of organize them in order versus have them just kind of floating around personally. So I don't want odd NZD. The way that odd and ZD both move, I don't really like it too much because when odd has news, probably can't open it because I have a chart. No, not chart open. It won't let me hide it. But either way, so I don't like the way this pair moves, so I would delete that. All my other brokers, it's deleted. And for the most part, like anybody who knows that I'm still holding that GJ trade, I think I decided I don't like GJ. So not that I haven't made a lot of money on it, but still, if with all these pairs to choose from, if there's one that you don't like the way it moves because of the news or you don't prefer, get it out of your site and then trade stuff that you like. Because you can pick a few and have a lot of success.
Thank you. I just wanted to show her how to set that particular, she wants to do the 30 on a demo, and I didn't know how to tell her how to add it to the currency pairs. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You are welcome. There was another lady stepping up behind Diane. What was her name? I hear some TV.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, good, thanks. I don't have the 50 on my chart either when it was set up. Could you show that again? Because I'm doing it, but it's not showing the moving average on my chart at all when I click that button that you said I should click.
Okay, so when you right click and you go to indicators list, do you see the thing that says, let's see. I probably missed it.
When I right click on it, it says standard charts, line study, time frame.
Okay, so right click on your chart and hit indicator list.
Right click. No, indicator list is not coming up there when I right click. I see trend, but I don't see indicator list.
Okay, here, wait, let's go up here. Let's go to trend.
Hold on a minute. Let me come back to you.
Okay.
Where should I go? Where should I go? Start it over. Right there. Yeah, that's where I'm clicking.
And now go to trend.
Okay, all right. Hold
Go to
on.
moving. So no, stay on my screen so you can see what I'm doing, okay?
Okay.
Go to moving average. You'll type in 50. You'll have 0 for shift, exponential for moving, for the MA method. You're gonna apply it to close. You can make it any color you want. And I make mine kind of thick because I like it that way. And then you hit OK.
Okay, all right.
And that's all you gotta do.
Let me see if I would do it.
Okay. You take a look.
And in the moments not captured on camera, she says this is what happens next. You show me in.
Is anybody else waiting for a sell on this pair right here? On Euro GBP? Let's see.
I know I am.
I am too. I just wanted to kind of break and prove to me it's going that way.
It's got to drop. I mean, it's been going up, God, for knows how long.
I know, right? Well, that GBP has just, it's been really mean to people for, look at this.
Yeah, I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. But you know it's coming down because you got this sideways motion.
Let's see. How many pips was this move?
A gazillion.
I know, right? Well, that's only 300 and, I mean, after you look at US 30, this isn't even that much, but it's a lot for Euro GBP because this is worth like $13 per pip. So this is worth a lot more per pip.
Well, you got stack in here, don't you?
I'm sorry?
You got stack in here, don't you?
Oh, I stack, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I stack, well, anywhere from 2 to 4 times. I even have a stacking bot that's massively high risk, but life-changing results. So, but you got to be right with it because it will stack every so many pips all the way down. It'll just keep entries. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we might need to have a conversation then about that.
No, listen, honestly, grow your account. Like, I promise you, anybody who's been trading for a long time, they can show you some pretty bells and whistles. But I've had the best expert advisors. I've had the best bots, and honestly, nothing has compared to just a really good set of rules. Pat's triple arrow system and like the Stairmaster, I never really did get in on that now and later thing. I have my own little scalping thing that I use, but nothing has made me near as much money. I mean, out of everything. I'm talking $2,000, EA bots, the ones that trade for you. Out of everything I've spent money on, nothing has made me near as much money as just a good set of rules, some emotional discipline, and, this system. And I'm not even bluffing when I say that, like, legit, this has made me more money than everything combined. Everything. Cornelia, did that work for you?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So can you look at my screen for a minute for just a second here?
Okay. All right.
So now that you're back on the Zoom, can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. So if we right click on the chart, there's something that says indicator list. Can you pull it up real quick? And then scroll up. Let's see if you need to make this bigger. let's see that if you even added the moving average. See how mine has moving average on the main chart?
Oh, yeah, yours got it. Okay, so let me, yeah.
So you go take a look and see if
Okay,
you
if I
also
right
have that.
click. Okay, indicator list. All right, I got it. Let me see. Moving. It doesn't have it on here.
Okay. Do you
Okay.
want? It's okay. Do you want to share your screen?
How do I do that?
Let's see. Well, it's okay. Maybe. So Irving set you up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe contact Irving. That might be the best way. Because it'll be very seamless versus us trying to do it live with a lot of people talking.
Okay. All right.
So ask Irving, since you did go through him, hopefully he'll be able to do that. If not, you can message me or I'll try to see if I can't help you, okay?
Okay, I would appreciate it. Thanks.
No problem.
Okay.
Are there
I
any
have
other
a question. Oh,
Hey,
sorry.
who's this?
Hi, this is Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Can you look at Euro JPY
Mm-hmm.
on the hour chart?
Okay. We're on the hour
It looks
chart.
different on yours.
I don't have those chum candles.
Okay, I'm in a sell. I only want 10 pips. Do you think that was not a good idea? I was thinking it's in a downtrend, and because it pulled back to the 50, it's going to keep going down. But what is your take on what I did in the demo?
Okay, so where did you enter at?
Oh Lord, where did I enter? Let me go back to my other account here. That's a good question. Where did I enter?
But the biggest question is, why did you enter? So you entered based off of these dots and the rejection of the 50?
I just got in because it kissed the 50. So I thought it's going to go back down because everything's under, it's still under the 50. And so I'm trying to figure out, I can't tell when the trend is changing. So I'm trying to figure out, was I okay because I did that or no?
The reason I wouldn't have taken this trade is it's everything is saying buy, right? So every single thing is saying buy. Well, not sorry. This is all a downtrend, but every arrow is saying buy. So we have wicks to the top, but I'm selling most euro pairs right now. So I wouldn't have taken this trade because I'm in too many other euro pairs personally. So I probably wouldn't even give it a fair analysis. Let's see.
And I took it at the 121.84. And on mine, it says the time was 21:41. So I think that's 9 o'clock.
What time frame did you take it on?
I want to say that 4 hour. Either hour or the 4 hour. Let me look. A 4 hour. I took it on the 4 hour. I'm sorry. So my thought pattern is the legs were far apart and it hadn't crossed the 50, so it's going to stay there because I'm having trouble and figuring out, should I stay in a trade when it's under the 50 just because it touches the 50, or should I get out? And so I'm getting out too early or getting in. So that's why I got in. So I don't know if I did that right or not. So my thought pattern is going to go back down. So I don't know if that's right.
Are you in profit on this trade?
No, I am negative $76. But it was like that last week, right? For another pair, and then I end up going in profit when I waited till this week.
So you got in at what price?
121.84.7.
Huh. I don't see why you'd be trying to sell here. and that's okay. Like, because the good thing is like we can learn and we can learn together. So it's still a beautiful thing. And if somebody else maybe sees something different, by all means, chime in. But what I see is we'd be looking for confirmations for buy, right? So on any of the charts I have set up, we have, you know, indicators that say, hey, this is getting ready to buy. We have our big arrow, little arrow, small, blah, blah, all the arrows, buy, sell line, money tree, string line. We're looking for this to go up, you know? So if you want that faster entry, we would have got in somewhere around here, probably where you were looking to sell. We would have been buying on our fast entry. If we were waiting for a more confirmed entry, yeah, so you got in on this candle then, which even at that point, it wasn't rejecting off the 50. You see what I'm saying? So if you got in down here, okay, you would have had to get on one of these three candles somewhere at the very bottom. And that's so it's, let's see, let me wait for it to, it's being stubborn. Hold on, let me re-get my mouse. So give or take, at this point, this was still give or take 20, 30 pips away from the 50, right?
Yes.
And I can't confirm what you saw when this happened, but I don't see anything in this area that says, hey, we're selling. In fact, we have a momentum candle, an engulfing candle, and we have a railroad kind of end. We have indicators that this is getting ready to buy. So if you were doing the fast entry with the tight stop, you know, you had enough confirmation here when your money tree string line changed, because everything but this, so this lined up, buy sell line, big arrow, money tree string, and you bought, you're just going for your 20 and 30 pips, you would have got it and closed in profit. But I don't see why you would have sold here, so I don't see what you saw in this.
I was on the 4 hour. I was on the, I'm sorry, I told you the hour. I was on the 4 hour. Yes, there you go. That's how, okay. So my thought is the legs are far apart, which means there's momentum between the 50. I don't have the money tree. I just had a 26 moving average below the 50. And I was thinking it's just going to continue to go down because the momentum is there. So I don't know if that's right or not.
Hey, Jenny, can you throw a 26 on there real quick so we can see what she's saying?
Yes, sir. Good idea. 26 EMA or SMA?
EMA on the close.
On the close, blue. Okay.
Exponential.
There we go. So again, we're looking somewhere in here.
Far apart.
So I don't understand. So, when you say the legs, you mean the moving averages are open?
Oh, yes. Thank you. That's what I meant. The 50, the white one you have, and then the one you just added, they're not together or sitting on top of each other. So,
like here.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, because see, like I would have thought, oh, I got to jump out, but as you can see, it still went down. My problem I'm having is I can't tell when to just stay. Can't you just stay in, or when do you know when it's going to turn on you?
Okay, so I'm guessing you learned that from somebody else. Is that right?
Yes, yes. Sorry. Everything I'm bringing up, this was a manual trade. I did not go off of the SuperEZ necessarily.
Okay, so
it just had one arrow.
I have the privilege of working. Yeah, I had the privilege of working with somebody who I would consider to be a master trader. I got a lot of information from them, and they do that whole there's a big gap thing. They do that, okay? But to me, whether there's a big gap or not right here, that doesn't change that this came up by 100 pips, you know? Okay. So to me, like, a lot of people who came to Pat's group, some of us had trading experience, some of us had none. But what I can tell you is if you want to be successful in this system, you might want to consider kind of taking everything you know and maybe putting it on a back burner for a little while, okay? Take a look at some of the videos in the group, take a look at some of the different mindsets that go with it, and then you're going to see totally different results, because that whatever you're talking about with that isn't going to line up with what we would call a reversal system. This is a reversal trading system. This is either a counter trend trading system or a reversal trading system. That's what you're working with in this group, just so you know how to define that for yourself. So this right here, the first off, that never worked for me. And again, I know somebody it worked really, really well for, somebody I admire and I respect, right? But for me, this never had any success because again, this isn't me flipping around to find a great example just to prove my point. This is what's physically on our chart in front of us, right? So physically on our chart in front of us, we see a big gap in the EMAs, but that didn't stop this huge move, which is actually 120 pips, right, from happening. So this big gap did not tell us anything, did it? Michelle, are you there?
Yes, sorry.
No, it's okay. So trading with what you're currently doing, like, if that's paying your bills, by all means stick with it. If that has made you money, then please add it to the system. But if that is not making you money, if that is not paying your bills, or doing what it's supposed to do, then maybe it would be a good idea to kind of remove that mindset, okay? And really delve into kind of this group and how they function. And I can tell you somebody who, yeah, I made money with some other systems. I actually made money with some other strategies. The problem is I made money, but most of the time I lost that money. I would make money and most of the time, like I lost it. So I was able to grow an account, but if I didn't withdraw that pretty quick, like I would lose it pretty quick. So I had to really retrain my brain. And by doing so, I've been able to hit, I mean, incredible amounts of success trading. So just that would be the first thing I tell you. In terms of what I see somewhere in and around where you took that trade, I don't see a sell, not even for a scalp. Although again, that's not my strategy, so I can't really discuss it. But again, if you got in somewhere around 2184, you're looking at one of these two candles, give or take. We have wicks to the upside, but we also have this doji. We know that dojis indicate that there's a reversal coming. We've got a big arrow. This is on the 4-hour chart. But yeah, I don't see a sell. Like I don't see a safe sell. Maybe over here when this dot appeared, and maybe the arrow wasn't there, this dot appeared and I had some other confirmation and I wanted to take that for a few pips. But without this dot, to where you move, I don't see a move. Like I don't see one at all in these two candles. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. So I got a question. So the support right next to the arrow, so you have the arrow at the end. Then if you go to the left, the next support, that's the green support. Yeah. So it's kind of the same situation where, oh,
price is making lower lows.
Yeah. So should I jump out because it's going up, but it's still under the 50 and end up going down. So if I had got in there, it still would have went down. So based on the system here in this group, I should just wait for the arrow, sounds like, because I was scared of the arrow because it moves. So basically, should I just wait for the arrow to pop up? It sounds like what you're saying.
So yes, the arrow moves, and that is scary at first. In fact, truth be told, I almost walked away from the group within the first few weeks because I was livid that it moved, okay? I will be 1000% transparent on this call. So I was literally like livid that it moved. However, we want to, when you recognize that everything on your chart is either lagging or it moves. And when I finally kind of got that grasp, I wasn't so frustrated by that anymore. And also our arrow is just a, hey, look at me. It's a pretty thing. We don't get in based off of this arrow. So yes, if we're only trusting the arrow, we are going to fail. And this is not going to be a very accurate system. But what makes, like, Pat did something that was incredibly genius. So he took some basic things, some basic knowledge, and he combined it with enough things that makes it a powerful system. So if you have some trading experience, obviously, what's your favorite oscillator personally? So aside anything you've learned out of your entire Forex career, what's your favorite oscillator? RSI.
Probably a Mackie.
Okay. So take your favorite oscillator and then take at least one other oscillator from this group, okay? Combine that with the arrows and the buy sell, okay? Combine that with, maybe you don't like the 50 moving average, maybe you don't see it as valuable, and that's okay. Combine that with a money tree string, and if you don't like that, you know, you can use a crossover of like the 9 and 18. You will notice that the money tree string kind of lines up with that pretty perfectly, but either way, use some things that you like and then create rules that work for what you see. But trying to combine that whole gap in the moving average thing is a trend trading strategy. That is the exact opposite of what we're doing here. I mean, that might work okay. I don't even think that would work okay on the Stairmaster, honestly. I just don't see it working effectively, personally. But if you build, so did you build your own chart because you did have experience before?
Yeah, so I happened to, I was just at work and I did check Pat's chart and it didn't have, you know, any arrows or anything. So I just was trying to go off my own brain to see, hey, if I stay under that 50, no matter where I get in, as long as it's under the 50, is it true that it's gonna, you know, go lower eventually? Not right now, but lower if I'm only asking for 10 pips. So that was my thought.
But we don't want to risk, you know, 50 pips for an eventual 10. We want a confirmed move. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways to see this. And between Pat and I promise you're going to find one of them that works for you. I promise. If you're consistent and you're willing to kind of plug in and stick around maybe. But yeah, hold on, let me add some other tools and fancy stuff.
But thank you. Everything is clicking because basically what you've just said is that he has a tighter way. I don't know how to say it, but you can get into profit faster than the way I was doing, and a lot more opportunities as I'm looking at this chart. So thank you.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. I mean, all I really want to do is make sure that like you totally get it. And if you, when you get it, I promise, like something's going to click and you're going to be just shocked. We have 1,000 different oscillators you can use. Some of them are free. Some of them are part of this group and exclusive. Some of them are things that everybody in the world knows about. But at the end of the day, you can pick a handful that your eyes see. You can combine them with just the buy-sell lines, your favorite moving average, because on one of the strategies Pat uses, he uses the 35. I used the 33 because I'm a weirdo and like weird numbers, and I kind of like the way it moved. So you can do this your way, but you have to create rules that are going to be productive and conducive of that. So, and I promise, just don't use that whole spreading of the legs thing. I was like, what is this chick talking about, spreading legs? I had no idea what you were talking about. So, but anyways, yeah, just don't use that part because that's a trend trading system, whereas this is a reversal system. Does that help at all?
Thank you so much. Yes.
You are welcome. And I wish you the best of luck. If you're going to get it, just stick with it, okay? Okay, guys, we've been on forever. Is there any other like super important questions?
Hey, Jen, just real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, what are those dots that you have with the stars?
Pat is working on releasing that right now. I shouldn't even have that on this call, but I do. He's working on that alert system based off of those. Honestly, the SuperEZ SR is what I use on my actual live trading account, but I had this over here, so I did it differently. Same concept, it's buy sell. One of them is set to be daily and one of them is set to be the 4 hour, and the only difference is this one we're trying to get alerts that will work on all pairs, so we're trying to create a dashboard, basically essentially a dashboard that will scan all the pairs. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. So the top one you have set to the daily, and the resistance you have set to the daily, and the support you have set to the 1 hour. Is that correct?
No, sir. So what you're going to want to do is grab your SuperEZ SR, drag it on the chart. Okay.
Yeah, I've got it on my chart. So
and then drag it on. But wait a minute here, and then drag it on a second time, and one of them you're going to type in 4 hours, and on the other one you're going to type in 1 day, and then you're going to get the support and resistance for daily and 4 hour. Most of the time they line up, but you can make them different colors, kind of like I did, so you could see the difference. But it gives you a little bit more to go off of.
Okay. Basically. I've got the SuperEZ SR too.
And then that's what I was saying. So if you drag that on your chart 2 times, okay, one time you're going to type in 4 hours, and one time you're going to type in 1 day.
Okay. Cool.
And then you'll have the same thing that I have. You just won't have the star.
Okay,
So,
cool. That's what I wanted. Appreciate it.
you are welcome. And there was another gentleman speaking.
Jenny, yeah, it's Tim. I just wanted to ask, what were your settings on your ADX?
My settings for my ADX are 10. So let's pull it up on this screen. Hold on, I wanted to take a look at US 30 to see what it ended up doing.
Okay.
Yeah, see, it's still kind of in this zone. We don't have any major confirmation yet. But okay, so my ADX, again, you know my colors are purple and green. So let's go to ADX. You can put this also on your phone. So that's
You're breaking up on this end here. It may be our internet. I'm not sure.
Okay, I can hear you loud and clear. So my ADX is set to 10. It is set to
10.
close.
Okay.
I have my style set at white, and I have no fixed minimum or maximum. My plus, so my buyer's line is the same color as my chart, which is green. My seller's line is so my negative DI is purple, again, same color as my chart. I have them a little thicker so I can see them pretty well.
Okay, I'm not hearing you now.
Okay. So my plus DI is green. My minus DI is purple.
Right.
My levels are 20, 25, and 40.
Okay.
Okay. And then you can label these. I usually don't have them labeled. I don't really like them labeled. I think I did that so I could explain it to people. Essentially,
Can you do the levels again? How you do the levels?
So the 20, it's 20, 25, and 40. So the colors are just the same. Your buyer color is the color of your buys. Your seller color is the color of your sells. And then you have white, 10, right?
Right.
And these are my settings.
You said 20, 25, and 40?
Yes, sir. And the reason why is like when you're trying to buy, you want the buy above the 20, maybe even above the 25. You want that crossover, and you want momentum to be facing up. If you want to know there's a lot of momentum in the marketplace, it's when price is breaking that 40. Well, sorry, the momentum is breaking the 40. And then see how this told you.
I'm not hearing you now.
Okay, Tim, you can watch the recording. I'm sorry if you can't hear me.
Yeah. Well, there was one thing I was going to comment on otherwise. It seemed like when it come down to the settings, it only had I picked my my ADX from the top of my screen, and it seemed like it only had the settings that would be, let's see here.
I know how they're set. The standard is set at 14. I know that. So that's kind of industry standard. But what I want to point out is you see this huge momentum move right here in the ADX. This does not repaint, but in its own way.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So this does not repaint, but if in its own way, it is relatively predictive, and you can kind of go back and test this. This had a huge spike in momentum, and that's why we have this big bullish move. That's where this comes from. So this kind of happened before anything else told us. So that momentum line is almost mildly predictive. I'm not going to go as far as to say it is predictive, but it tells us there's something big going on. Because you can tell that move didn't happen here. That move happened all throughout here. So, yes, sir. Any other questions?
That's it for right now.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, Jenny. Kind of going back to what the lady prior was saying about being scared of the arrows because they repaint, and you speaking on how you almost walked away from the system. Can you share what helped you most? Because I'm having the same issue. I'm incredibly frustrated because I would have all of my signals. I got killed yesterday on CAD JPY on a buy, but I had every signal in the world telling me to enter, but the arrows kept changing, kept changing, kept changing. My support dots disappeared, and you know, I walked away from the trade, got stopped out after 40 some odd pips.
Okay, so first off, what time frame did you find that trade on?
The 4 hour, and I went down to the 15. I had the 3 arrows for the uptrend. It was kind of going down, but it was still in the uptrend with all the 3 arrows, and I had support dots telling me that, okay, I can go ahead and enter, and the support dots lined up with my 15-minute chart where I had triple arrows going up. So I had triple arrows on the 4 hour, I had support on the 4 hour, and I had triple arrows on the 15. And so
okay,
entered the trade, and you know,
you said you entered the trade when?
it was yesterday.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so maybe there's a miscommunication. The first thing I'm going to tell you is rule number 1: wait till the stinking candle closes. Okay, because when the candle closes, that arrow. Let me get a drink real quick. Sorry, guys. I got some weird cucumber water. Tastes funky, but it's pretty good for you. So, okay, so first thing is wait for the candle to close, because that big arrow repainting and even the dots are going to be far less of an issue when you wait for that candle to close, the candle that it came in on. Okay.
It was the arrow up was far.
This.
Yeah.
This.
It was far to the left. I have my screenshots, but that arrow on the 4 hour chart, it was triple arrows. It had been going up for a while. It had pulled back, and I was catching it on the pullback where it had support dots.
Over here, right?
Somewhere over there, probably. The dots disappeared because the price fell through it. So it was probably in this upper area here where that downtrend happened.
Okay, so the first thing is that yellow arrow does not repaint, right? Just so we're on the same page, that yellow arrow does not repaint. Even the little arrow very rarely repaints, just so you know. But it does technically repaint, but very rarely. So right here, you did not have confirmation to get in.
I'll show you my screenshots.
Yeah, you can totally message me them. But just judging by what I see right here on the 4 hour, so maybe it was the 1 hour. Nope. So, nope, okay. So this girl knows what she's talking about. And that's okay, that's good. That will get you really far. So, how do I say this? There wasn't enough confirmation here. So let's assume all the arrows were here, okay? I can tell you right now that our money tree string line was not green yet, right? The odds are it was not green anywhere in here because price didn't reverse enough for it to turn green. It might have turned green or something here, but not enough for the candle to close. But your money tree string line was, can you check your screenshots? Was your money tree string line green?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull them up now. See, it was in a pullback. The arrow was far, the big arrow, the triple arrows were far to the left.
Over here?
Yeah, it was probably.
Oh, right, like here or here. Yeah, probably here.
Probably in that area somewhere. You see where the other 2 arrows, because I had triple arrows.
Okay, fair enough. So let's assume they were right here or something, which would make more sense. So not to call your bluff, but it's not to call you out. It's just to help us find that we're never going to get better if we can't kind of pull out. Wow, my phone is going off like crazy. We're never going to get better if we can't figure out what we're doing wrong. So not to call you out, let's just kind of analyze this together. So if you got in, if this was what you saw, and then you saw the pullback, right? Right. So assuming we had these buy-sell lines and you're thinking, okay, if I pretend I can't see anything past this, I would think this is also a double bottom, right? I would also think that this is looking to start buying, right? Because you kind of have that frame, right? that whole double bottom theory thing. But the thing is, so again, this hindsight's 2020. It's really easy to look at the chart now and know what happened. But to the best of our ability, let's pretend that we don't see anything past this. Here is what I do see. I see that right here, we've got a lot of indecision, which is a beautiful thing. This would really have turned me on to say this is great. We've got a kind of little bit of a powerful candle. I'm happy about that. But again, picking whatever oscillators you like best. I'm sure we can even add the RSI to this. There's no confirmation in our oscillators as of yet, right? This kind of told us to buy a little. And if we had bought, if you moved your stop into profit, you would have closed out in profit if you just used the ADX. But most of our other confirmations are saying it's not ready, right? And what oscillators do you have on your chart right now?
I was in the, let's see, the stochastic.
Okay, so we can add that too. Hopefully it'll come up with the right settings. Let's see. Yeah, baby. Small favors, huh? So only using the stochastic.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, who's this?
This is James.
Hey, James, how's it going?
I'm doing okay. I know what she did wrong.
Okay, what did she do wrong?
All right.
It's okay, let's help each other.
All right, listen. When you get that big arrow, if you look back in your chart, I know you say it was on a 4-hour chart, but of course you still got to do your top-down analysis when you're looking at your chart, whatever. If you scroll back and you see that big arrow on the 1-hour chart showing that it's still a down movement, there's no way you should be still buying at all because it's going to retest that 50 moving average period. If it breaks above that 50,
and they all my big arrows from the 15-minute to the 1 week were all green buy arrows.
Okay, can I show you? Can I show you my screen?
Please do, yeah, and that's okay because we're all here to help each other. I'm gonna stop my share. James, do you know how to take over for me?
Yeah, I'm seeing share.
Okay, I'll read the chat real quick. I just messed up your head in a good way, huh? That's cool. Okay, show me what you got.
Can you see me?
I see your TDI guy.
Yeah, of course I am.
Yes, sir.
All right. This is where we were saying we choose that, right? Right here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you look back, I'm also a market makers trader as well. So if you look and you see that this trend is still up here, and this is the 800 moving average right here, right? This blue line is 800. Okay. You got this big arrow up here. If you actually look at this, this is still a downtrend. This 50 moving average is not broken at all. So you shouldn't even been thinking about buying until the price broke above this 50 and came back up and retested it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. I'm trying to follow the system, and based on the system, from what I understand it to be, I had my triple arrows and I had my my 4-hour dots as support. And then when I dropped down to the 15-minute, I had my triple arrows going in buy direction as well. So I was trying to follow the system as I know it, as I understand it to be, to a T.
Okay, there's your big arrow right there. You see it on the 15-minute? This your big arrow you had right here?
I doubtful. I'm not sure because it repainted several times and it's no longer on the chart.
Okay. Well, mine's still on the chart. So if you look at the 15-minute right now,
how do you
big arrow, big arrow, big arrow, big arrow, right?
How do
you stay in a downtrend. We stay in a downtrend because prices broke and past the 50, the 200, the 800. Prices broken past all those.
How do you get your arrows to stay on the chart?
So how?
Hey, Michelle, can you go to your 15-minute chart on your live chart real quick and see if your 15-minute arrow is still there? See, guys, so this 15-minute chart, hey, James, can you measure from where that big arrow is to that top of that next big arrow, that red arrow? So would you have closed down a few pips if you had just played the, you know, a small amount? So the average daily range, 10, 20 pips. The 15-minute time frame is meant to do a couple of pips. And if you're using the 15-minute time frame for confirmation, you're using it to go for 20 or 30 pips. If you're asking me personally.
I set it for 10, it got to 7.
And then it retraced, right? What broker are you using? What was your spread?
Hugo's Way, and I
Give or take, yeah, maybe 10. It was probably about an 8 to 10 pip spread. So price moved 20, give or take. I mean, there's no 1,000%. Price moved, give or take, 20 pips in your favor. But that's where my philosophy of I move my stop into profit comes in real handy in moments like this. And you had asked like how I finally decided to trust the system. It's because when you add the oscillators of your choice, some of us have cool ones. I personally, I don't really know the TDI too well. I hear it's amazing, although I never really learned it. But whatever oscillators you use, you know, create the rules that work for you. And when you do that, Michelle, you're going to see some massive success. But I promise on the 4 hour, when you went to enter, not enough of it was lined up on the 4 hour. On the 1 hour, when you went to enter, there wasn't enough confirmation. So essentially you were entering in on the 15-minute and using that as your confirmation. And having said that, like, I don't personally trade the 15-minute. I did not trade the now and later. I never jumped on board with that. But I do know if you're trading the now and later, you essentially have the ability to catch those little moves, but you got to protect the move. And that's really the most I think I have to offer on that.
Can I show you my screenshot so that you can see exactly what I was seeing at the time that I entered?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Let's see. How do I share my screen?
Okay, so go to the Zoom and hit share.
Okay, let's see. I don't see it. Okay, let's see. There we go.
Okay, so let's take a look.
Do you see it?
Okay, I see your screen. Perfect. You have control. So let's see. You have the Trump candles, right?
Yes. Well, no, I actually have the trend candles because the Trump candles won't load on my system.
Okay, fair enough.
So what I was looking at, the white dots are my daily dots. The green and red dots are the 4 hour dots. I had my triple arrows here, so I was in the uptrend, but it had pulled back. And then I had the 3 support dots here, which, you know, I thought would give me additional confirmation to enter. And then my stochastic was about to cross up.
That stochastic is not the stochastic we use in the group, but okay.
Okay. So that was about to cross up. And then when I went to my 15-minute chart, I had, again, triple arrows and it was going in that direction. So that's why I entered.
So you enter to the right over here, right? Where we took the screenshot?
Yes.
So go to the right, all the way to the...
Where do you want me to go?
To the end, where the candles stop.
Oh, okay, to the right, I'm sorry.
Okay. So even looking right here, it's not about criticizing, it's just about kind of learning from where we're at.
Yes.
I don't personally use these candles, and I can't verify what I would see on my wheel candles, but I do see wicks to the top, which tell us price is moving, is pushing where?
Down.
Down. I also see that crossover on that stochastic was not ready. I also see that the MACD, we had the crossover a little bit to the left, but at the place you're saying you entered, we were no longer buying because you can barely see on that tiny tail down here, the sellers were taking back control. Do you see that? The sellers were on top of the green on your MACD. So, you know, even with what you currently have on your chart, this is just to learn and to grow as we go. So it wasn't a bad entry. So getting stopped out totally wasn't a bad deal. Those are some things you can work on, is just that little bit more patience to make sure that that move completed, right? Because the crossover on the stochastic did not complete, so it was not ready. The MACD had the red on top of the green. Do you see that?
Right. So I would still be looking at that on my 4-hour chart, even if everything is perfect on the 15-minute where I'm actually.
You're right. Okay. But also, so like in terms of where you put your stop loss, in terms of like this would be similar to like a Stairmaster entry, your stop loss would go below the previous buy sell line. So those white dots, that's where your stop loss should have been.
Yeah, that's where I moved it to.
Okay. So that's good. But we're going to lose some trades. Like losing a trade isn't bad. It's just a matter of that we're winning more often than we're losing. Do you have another screenshot to show me your 4-hour? Oh, this is your 4-hour. Let's see your 15-minute. Yeah. I'm sorry. I always thought I was looking at the 15-minute. And that's okay. Let's see.
I'll try to pull my 15-minute. And here was. Okay, and I see the issue automatically with my 15-minute. Okay, so I see my error. So my stochastic still hadn't crossed. The MACD still down, but I had my triple arrows and I had my support, so I thought that I would be good for takeoff.
But you see how the MACD is actually literally telling you it's going to sell?
Oh, yeah.
And that's okay. The cool thing is, like, the more often you do this and you have those aha moments, your bank account is going to grow and it's going to be amazing. So I'm really glad that we got to help you figure it out.
Yes, I am too. With every trade, there's a learning experience, be it good or bad, and we learn more from the bad trades, than we do the good ones. So
yes, ma'am, all the way. Hey, what moving average do you have on that chart right now?
I have a 50.
Okay, cool. There you go. I was just kind of curious, but that's awesome. Well, the cool thing is you're getting it, and we can't ask for anything more. So you're getting it, and that's what it comes down to. So that's a beautiful thing. Hey guys, I kind of adore you a whole bunch, but I usually stay on these calls with you for like ever. So I'm totally going to jump off. I'm not even going to ask if there's any more desperate questions, okay?
We love you too.
Oh, I love you guys.
Thank you.
Hey, sweet dreams, it's fun hanging out with you guys. It sure makes trading fun versus kind of sitting in your office by yourself and just doing your thing. So I look forward to kind of hopefully getting our schedules in line to do some more live trading together. But for now, we'll just answer questions and look at charts. So I hope you have a fantastic evening and sweet dreams, everyone.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jenny. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You are welcome.